Touch Greatness.
Josh Kwiatkwoski here on I Only Touch Greatness podcast. Check it out.
Representing Ascension Martial Arts from Kwiatkwoski, BC, he is Josh the Juggernaut Kwiatkwoski.
Living like I got nothing to lose. Living like I got nothing to lose. Living like I got nothing to lose.
Living like I got nothing to lose.
Living like I got nothing to lose.
That's J1 Trey.
Living like I got nothing to lose. 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 Living like I got nothing to lose.
Fighting out of Aldergrove is what I found for the stat. Is that where you were born and growing up?
Yeah, that's my hometown.
Okay, and what was childhood like for you growing up?
Aldi was a funny town. It was a funny mix of kids that would often create conflict. Like, you know, we would have the kids at the skate park, you know, and there's always fights there. Then there was fights at the football fields, and there was just always like fights behind the hockey rink, and it was just one of those things. Like it was a tough little town.
What made you want to get into the MMA?
It was funny. As long as I can remember, I just kind of always loved the challenge of fighting people, even older people, younger people. I remember my mom would be in the front yard, and I'd bring people over from school and elementary, and we'd do like helmets and gloves, and we just bang it out. And my mom would just watch to make sure we're all being good, but I remember we'd just be filming it and watching it, and we'd bring people over to watch it, and it kind of stemmed off from that. And then as I grew up, when I played sports, football, rugby, lacrosse, I would get in a lot of fights, and it made for interesting times. But sometimes in sport, it's not the right time to fight. You know, it's more important to play the sport, and I wasn't the best at that. And then when I found fighting at like 16, I had already been dabbling in training, but never really jumped into it. And then at 16, I jumped into it and never stopped.
So you started taking it seriously then at about 16?
Yeah.
Okay. And of course you played lacrosse. I mean, Slatebag, our buddy in common. We have a friend in common.
Yeah.
You told me you played in Ladner with him, and that you tried to fight my Port Moody Express team about 4 or 5 times in your first game.
Yeah, no, it was interesting times when they asked me to play lacrosse again. I had been out of the sport for a little bit, and they asked me to come play. And obviously, the goon in me always was looking for fights and big hits. Lacrosse is one of those sports. It's so funny. I played a lot of sports growing up, but I still dream about lacrosse. It's just one of those sports. It's just epic. Fights, hits, high scoring. Just that's a good sport.
Through lacrosse or fighting or just being out there in the valley, you ever come across Amesbury?
Yeah, he's the man. He's just killing it right now. I think he just was doing the bare knuckle tryouts. He's Ice War champion. He's just a banger, and he's from Maple Ridge.
Yeah.
I've actually trained him a few times and trained with him, and it's always a pleasure working with that guy. He's a big boy. He moves really, really well, and obviously hits like a truck. So he's a cool guy to know.
Yeah, that's for sure. He's really doing well. I've had him on as well. Plus, so many friends in common through lacrosse. But so yeah, BFL 77 was June 9th. You won by decision. How did that fight go for you in your mind?
It lit a fire under my butt, to be honest. You know, like I wasn't the most. I wasn't happy with the performance in the sense that I had him in like a modified crucifix, and I didn't do enough with it. There was one moment where I felt if I transitioned differently, I could have put him in a position where I could have finished the fight with TKO, just ground and pound, just if I would have made the right move at the right time. And it was the one good thing was fighting through the adversity of the eye pokes. Like I've never dealt with. I have been poked in the eye before. I've been kicked in the junk before lots, but I've never had an eye poke like that. Never had an eye poke that affected my vision, kind of like, you know, a fighter's worst nightmare. But it was another thing that I'm grateful it happened, and I got to fight through that, because when it does happen again, I'm going to be trained. I'm going to be more comfortable in the situation, even though it's an extremely uncomfortable situation. And the only thing I wish is I would have been able to create enough momentum after the eye pokes to come back and finish the fight. But luckily I won the whole fight. So
Every time I think about an eye poke, I always go back to Bloodsport. You know, like where the guy where he was blind and like the guy threw the dust in his eyes, right?
yeah, so good. That movie's a classic.
Yeah, it is. I'm pretty sure now this might not be true, but I was so the same night that you fought, GSP was at New Edge.
Yep.
And I was the second person in line, so I was really close to the door when I heard your win come up. Like I heard the whole of inside Ibby and everybody freaking out because I'm pretty sure it's because you won. So
That's so funny. That's awesome.
what's it like training over there at New Edge with Ibby? And of course, I know Loopy, our friend too. She's over there all the time.
It's a love-hate thing with Ibby for sure.
Yeah.
I love he's such a supportive guy. He's about it. He loves fighting. He gets it. But when you're in those sessions, your body feels like a fight. If the mental, like when you're driving there, you're like, I'm nervous. Why am I nervous for a strength and conditioning session? You know, if maybe, did I eat? Oh my God, did I eat too close to the session? Did I eat not too, you know, like he puts you in that place where you have to go in that. Okay, I gotta bite down and I gotta go through this, and it's nice to experience. It's nice to get comfortable there.
For sure. And what about Loopy? Have you ever trained with her?
Oh, lots, on and off for years. I was training at Titan for me and her trained together on the same boxing team under Jerry Versamy. She's a beast. She now is coming to WKX and trains. I train with her out there a few times a week sometime. And she's a beast. She's a tough chick.
She's bound to be a champ one day.
She's got a great work ethic. She's powerful, and she just keeps getting better. So no reason why she can't.
Where'd you get the nickname Juggernaut?
It's funny because I got the nickname from one of my friends and my coaches. So it was back in the day when I was an amateur, and I was fighting under Titan. And in the amateur rules in BC, you can't get kneed in the face. That's a pro rule, right? So you can get kneed to the body. But in the second round, I was fighting a guy named Casey O'Leary, and we were having a war. It was just a slugfest. And I go and I shoot in. And as I shoot in for my wrestling takedown, what happens? He throws a huge knee, and it just busts my nose. And as my nose go down, and he throws that knee, I go, and my nose goes all the way up. I go down, and I just start throwing punches. Right as I go, my nose just gushing blood, and I eventually, very little later from the sequence, we're brawling. He shoots, and then I guillotined him, and then Tyler runs over one of my teammates, Tyler the Ninja. Nicholson comes over to the corner. He sees Nabil and Ken Tran and goes, "See, he took that knee like that." And everyone's like, "Ding, ding, ding." And during dinner later in the night, we were celebrating and brought it up, and kind of became a name.
Yeah, I'm one for a crooked beak as well. So I've taken a couple hockey sticks, and I was talking one night when I should have been listening. So at the bar one night I got shit pumped. But so yeah, I understand the crooked beaks and getting your nose broken. Rumble in the Cage 145 champ. What does that mean to you?
That was the turning point of my career. I fought a man named Tim Tamaki, OG in Canadian MMA, over 50 pro MMA fights, multiple finishes. Was coming off a 3 or 4 fight finish streak before he fought me, and when I fought him, I was in like the biggest run of my career. I was on a losing streak, a big one. I just couldn't. I was doing good things. I was having good performances, but things weren't going my way, and I made some subtle changes, and most importantly, I just changed my mindset and just made a few little changes, took it a little bit differently, and now we've got the ball rolling. We got 3 wins in a row. But that point when I fought Tim Tamaki was the point when I was like, this is my last push. I need to change my career. I need to go on a giant win streak, show people I belong in those major organizations, and it's only a matter of time.
The one funny story, my sister brought it up when she seen that I posted the flyer today. She's like, "Oh, I ran into him at Chimo Pool." I guess you were telling stories about cutting weight in the sauna one night, and my sister was standing there, and she heard that too. So,
that's so funny.
Yeah, small world, small world. You coach also. You're coaching at a Nemo.
Yeah, so I coach at Animo and Evolve in Maple Ridge and Pitt Meadows.
Okay, and how long have you been doing that? And do you enjoy teaching it?
Oh, it's besides fighting, I love fighting. That's number one. But besides fighting, coaching people and fighting is just, I love it. It's just it brings me so much joy to see people just get better and better, and just have a part and a say, and to genuinely want to see people get better is something I enjoy. And I know with my experience, how many fights I've had, I can just help a lot of up and coming people and martial artists see a giant change in their life through martial arts. And it changed my life. So I know if people need that in their life, or even want to become a pro fighter or even an amateur fighter, just test themselves, as martial arts is the way to do it, you know?
That's for sure. I saw that you coached that your buddy who fought Ink Boy. And like Ink Boy is actually, I believe this is the same thing. He's the same guy. He used to be a tattoo artist he worked in the chair next to where I got all my ink done in.
Really?
City. Yeah, Fat City in New West. I think that's where I know him from, but I'm not sure. Go ahead.
That's my one of my roommates, David Mangler, the Strangler. Yeah, he wants to come back and have another MMA fight. But he's just 0-1 as a pro boxer, but he's a banger. He's a funny guy.
You're having a dream dinner party, and you can invite 3 famous people, dead or alive. Who do you want to bring to your party?
Okay, 3 dead or alive. Pamela Anderson, but
Nice one.
like unfortunately, like not being rude, but like you know Pamela Anderson from back in the day, you
Huh.
know,
Yeah,
um,
Baywatch Pam.
Baywatch, and that's that's like all star. So Baywatch Pam, Kill Bill Lucy Liu, and then um, mm, and then Chris Lieben.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Those are good. At least you threw in some eye candy because I usually do as well. For
yeah.
me, it's I go Tupac,
Oh,
Seth. Yeah,
that's a good one.
Seth Rogen would be my comedian. I'd love to sit down with him.
Oh,
And then
comedian.
for some eye candy, I usually go with like Shakira or something. But Pam Anderson was always my favorite, so that's a good one.
Let's go.
And Chris Lieben, I actually had him on the show, so that's cool.
Oh, what? He's the person like that inspired me more so than anything, or even like just the moment when he fought Caleb, and
Yeah,
I saw that a guy from Surrey beat
yep,
the guy at that time. I was like, Chris Leeman's my like the legend, he's just like the man, and to see Caleb beat him, a guy from Surrey beat a guy that's my legend, I was like, man, I can do it. Anyone can do it if he can do it, and it gave me kind of that spark. Like a guy from Surrey can do it, I can do it. So
yeah. And I remember Caleb, yeah, for sure. And I believe he even trained with Amesbury as well.
yep.
Yeah. Okay. And okay, how did it feel, or what did it feel like for you to be on a national broadcast with the UFC Fight Pass in your hometown?
I like it. It's always a challenge fighting at home. People would think you would like fighting at home better, but if you bring me and ship me out anywhere, as long as I have enough time to get used to it, I would love to just always have all my fights to be away from the house. There's no distractions. There's just showing up and fighting. But when you're fighting in your backyard and you're on the platform of UFC Fight Pass, A, you got to be ready, and B, if you're me, you sell over like 100 tickets every single fight. The love I get is amazing, and the crowd I have is crazy. But it puts that weight on your shoulders, knowing you got to put on for your friends and family, and go out there and show people what's up.
Yeah, that's true. I had John Rocker, a baseball player. I had him on the podcast. John Rocker, yeah, you know him?
Yeah, man, Kenny
Yeah,
Powers. He was
yeah,
based off.
I fucking love John Rocker. So I had him on, and he told me the same thing because he's from Atlanta, played in Atlanta, went to school in Atlanta. Like he loved Atlanta, loves Atlanta, but he hated playing it in his hometown because his fans would be, or his friends would be like two rows up yelling at him, and he's trying to
Yeah,
pitch a game, and he had all the pressure of his friends and his family, and
yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy. It's like it again. We love the support, but it's crazy. Like just sometimes it's funny too, depending on the person. Some people's voices stand out, and you can hear this maybe a silence or a break in whatever, and you just hear this pinpoint quote or someone screaming, "Put your hands up," something like that, and it's just it's a cool feeling. But again, yeah, I don't care if it's at home or away. Fight's a fight, But fighting, it feels primal when it's just you and him.
what are
So,
your uh, what are your pre-fight rituals?
so when I was younger, I used to have so many pre-fight rituals, like many, many. And as I got older and older, and just more experience, I try to kind of get rid of that because I don't. Some things are out of your control, right? So you don't want to give too much strength away. Be like, oh, I need these lucky underwear. I need these, because then if I don't have it, I'm gonna feel off. But what I will say is there is a sequence. There's a common sequence that I do before fights, like um, even even a silly one, like my one of my best friends, his wife paints my toes like she's like a crazy artist and always does a crazy design on my toes, like a juggernaut symbol, graffiti, like crazy art on my toes before the last like 7 or 8 fights. And we have a nice day with my godson and we just chill and it's just awesome. Uh, but I have like movies I watched the night before, those fight week movies. I have like 4 or 5 of them that I really like, the meditating, the stretching at night, just that sequence, I like to get new socks and I like to get a new underwear for the weigh-ins, as stupid as that is, weigh in with that new energy. And I have sequences, but I don't have any superstitions or nothing like that anymore.
Yeah, you're right on that. And because some things are out of your control. It's like when we interview the hockey guys or any football players, or we had hockey guys that put their shin pads on the wrong leg, or they've always laced their left skate first. And you hear a bunch of weird ones, but just like rituals in general, if you try too hard to do them and something goes wrong, your whole day's fucked.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I like the left skate or the right skate thing, but I kind of have that with my hands. Like when I'm getting my hands wrapped, whenever I have the last hand wrap, as it's getting wrapped, I look at my coach and I go say, "Oh yeah, this is the one that knocks him out." Just the
Oh,
last
sweet.
wrap, right when it's loud. Yeah.
How do you calm the butterflies before a fight?
Just understanding that how you feel is so natural, and that when you get overwhelmed, when you have to go to the washroom a bunch, when your arms feel heavy, that's just your blood being your that's like, there's your body's knowing you're going to war, and it's natural, right? So uh, even though as crazy as fighting seems to some people, when you know you're gonna fight, and as you prepare to fight, even as you walk out, is your body gets you prepared. So just trust the process and just understand that anything that you feel is okay and is natural, even if it's not. You just got to tell yourself that, and you're gonna go in there. And once the fight starts, then you're golden. So,
What about post-fight rituals? I know I asked pre already, but what about post-fights? You go out and have a steak, you go out and smoke a doobie, or do you drink, or what do you do?
yeah. So when I'm in fight camp, I my entire life is clean.
Yeah.
No drinking, no eating what I want to eat. None of that fun stuff.
Yeah.
And when I wish I just did 2 fight camps in a row. And besides getting fat and lifting lots of weights, I don't have really anything I like to do after, but I like to let loose a little bit. We work so hard in this game, and when it's 2, 3 sessions a day, every day, one rest day, sometimes no rest day, and I'm training and teaching and I'm working, and so when it's time, when the hard work pays off, to have a week or 2 or 3 where you can enjoy some time off, have some food, and see your friends, go for a hike, and get a little fat, and then get
Yeah,
back to it. So.
that's for sure. Uh, okay, yeah. Describe the struggles it takes to cut weight when you're still having energy to fight.
Weight cutting is the hardest of our sport. It's one of those things that's quite a process. Even for myself, my next fight will be at 135. It'll be my first time there. I fought my whole career at 145 or 155. But with that being said, um, it's a process to get down. And even when I weighed in last fight, I weighed in 140.2. And then the next day when I fought, I was 164.4. So um, quite a large amount the next night. And as you put it on, it takes a lot more to take it off, right? So I want to walk even lighter than what I did last fight camp. And my game plan is to just continually changing my body into walking lighter and lighter and lighter, and just being disciplined, and that time where I get to eat and have fun, make it as short as possible.
So it's like almost like instead of cutting the weight, just stay at that weight.
It would be nice if I could do it,
Yeah.
but it's definitely hard.
Yeah. Do you know what your next fight is and who it's going to be against and when?
I do. So I know it's going to be BFL 77. The announcement's going to be made probably next week. So that's going to be a little spoiler, but it's either going to be Mitch Drzella or Ali Wazook. But it's very exciting. Um, and I'm just excited for for the fight. I'm excited to keep the ball rolling. I'm excited to just keep getting better. I'm going to do all these jiu-jitsu tournaments coming up and just keep developing my game. So, uh, fights. So,
No, yeah. Okay, if you can hear me, your shit was lagging there, so I just hope it. I hope we'll let it make it look all pretty. Do you have a ring entrance song?
so the ring entrance song always changes. It's one of those things that you kind of, well, for me personally, I've had multiple songs for multiple fights, but the biggest thing is for me, if I feel that a song really hits in the training camp or just feels just it really stands out, it kind of gets chosen, you know. So sometimes I have options that are right down to the nitty gritty. But the last song I've walked out, or the last song I've chosen, was I've used twice now, and it's Spark Master Tape Griffin, and it's a really good song. It's a banger. But next fight is going to be a different song. So
Okay. What is your favorite strike and favorite submission?
favorite submission, I have two. Toe hold and arm triangles. I love them. They're just both awesome and mean, you know. And then for favorite strike, a tomahawk punch. It's stupid, but going like this and just bam, smashing them in the face. It's really cheeky, and I like it.
What's contributed to your big 3-win streak going here?
Just me and one of my roommates and teammates, Isaiah Meditek, we dug deep after one of our last losses, and we just said we're never going to lose again. It's from a TV show I'm actually rocking right now, Shorzy.
Yeah.
And they have a slogan. They just say "Never lose again," and we just have to do everything in our power to go on a big win streak, get picked up. That's it. And you just gotta keep manifesting that. You gotta keep meditating on that. You keep journaling about that. You keep envisioning that. Seeing my hands getting raised every time. Sometimes you're your own worst enemy. And in that losing streak I had, sometimes I was down on myself, right? And it was during COVID times, which I wasn't the best me, and I just used all those losses as learning lessons. I actually learned from them, and I'm grateful for them, even in hindsight. And now it's like I'm the most dangerous me. I'm on a 3-fight win streak. Win this next fight at BFL 77 against unknown opponent. They'll be announcing that next week. But I go to 4 wins in a row, 5 wins in a row. We're laughing. We're there.
Oh, I must have had my stats wrong. I thought BFL 77 was the one that was on June 9th.
Oh yeah, 78 is the next.
Okay,
one.
good. I didn't fuck that up. I almost had to fire my.
Today. I was watching it today.
I was almost gonna have to fire my stats guy, and I am the stats guy. Okay, perfect. You answered who your next fight is. What's your personal highlight?
My personal highlight for fighting?
Yeah, it could be one time you beat up somebody in lacrosse too, if you want.
Okay. Well, 2 then. 1 in sport, 1 in MMA. When I played football, this guy who's just a dick. He was just being so mean to everyone on the team, dirty shots, all this stuff. And he called me a midget bitch. And before the end of the game, we started a big fight. I ended up knocking him out. He was a bully. He deserved it. So
yeah,
that's definitely up there. And then number 2 is my first pro fight in Brazil. Still means a lot to me. I got a first round knockout. And that really was important. But then also, I guess tied with that is the 16-second knockout I had on the island. It was quite the performance, and I'm very proud of it still.
I didn't find this stat, but that Ultimate Fighter shirt you were wearing, you weren't on the show, right?
No, a man I was training with made the team as an alternate, and then got cut for some bullshit. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was like.
So you answered this one, but you might have a different answer. But who do you really model your fighting after? Is there somebody that you grew up watching?
Well, Chris Lieben is how I modeled my earlier days about, but you can't fight like Chris Lieben for a long time.
No.
unfortunately. So I had to just change, and I just got to be the most entertaining version of myself, and just be ready to be the most dangerous juggernaut. I love Jake Ellenberger, the original, the OG juggernaut, but I love Melvin Gillard. Nate Diaz is like the
He's my
Diazes
favorite.
of the
Yeah.
world. He's awesome. There's so many. I don't even have favorite fighters. I love Kobe Covington. I don't have favorite fighters. What I have is people that inspire me, and I have a lot of people that inspire me.
Yeah, Nate Diaz, one of my favorites. I've been a fan ever since the head triangle with the fingers in the air. I was like, oh, love this guy. Um, how many weeks is in a fight camp? I got maybe 7 or 8 more questions. Quick ones, though. Fun ones.
Yeah. So usually they can be anywhere from 12 weeks to 12 weeks to 1 week if you got no time. So it depends when but we want to put in at least 10 weeks of hard work.
If you had a time machine and you can go to anywhere, any era, what era would you go to?
The 90s. I want to be like 2030 in the 90s.
Okay. Yeah, they had the best music back then.
Yeah.
Favorite fight movie?
Favorite fight movie is Snatch with Brad Pitt.
Do you have a dream fight?
Dream fight would be like Justin Trudeau, I guess. If I had
Okay.
to try.
Okay, that's a sweet one. Okay. And what drives you to get up every morning and train?
I want to be so successful with my fighting, whether it be just getting to the highest levels, and I also want to coach people at the highest level. So just through martial arts, I want to be so successful that I can support my mom and my dad and all my siblings, and maybe have enough money to have businesses with them and then just prosper, but just support my family.
What you mentioned coaching. What makes a good coach?
You just have to genuinely care. If you care, and you don't stay in your lane, if you don't know the answer, don't try to answer it. People can smell bullshit from a mile away.
There was $1,000 prize in the line, and you had to sing one karaoke song. What song are you singing?
Sublime. What love is what I got.
Okay. If you were an animal, what animal would you be?
Probably. Oh yeah, platypus, man. Platypus. No, all.
Okay. I always go the dolphin because I look like a dolphin, right? I got no hair. I got no hair in the nose. Yeah, man. Yeah, that's my last question. So I want to just thank you for giving me your time, man. I know you're busy. You got to get training probably, or
Yeah.
Yep.
It's practice time. I'm just gonna jump out there and try to kill my friends now. So but thank you for reaching out. Thank you for just supporting athletes in general. Everyone that supports the outlet of journalism for sports, and especially MMA, because not a lot of people like to do it. It just gives us another way to reach new listeners and just get more people watching MMA. It's an amazing sport. It's a savage sport, so pull up your socks and get ready. But it's a beautiful sport. It's changed my life, made me the best version of myself, and every day I'm grateful for it.
That's for sure. And I like to put on the local guys as well. So especially ones that are going places like yourself.
Thank you, brother.